Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed all my stories at realcopstoriesvideos.com. If you want to contact me on my email at rsvcopstories@gmail.com. Okay, and answer all your questions best I can. You know, at this time I had about 7 years on, and you learn a lot of stuff in patrol. And one thing I learned, especially in an area that's got mixed races, because what happens is in LA, there's some streets that border, just the way it turned out, you know, richer areas in West LA, Wilshire districts, separated by major streets like Pico and Venice, and some streets below the streets and around it are economically depressed minorities, and then 2 or 3 gentlemen here knows the streets. You get up into Pico and then a little bit towards Beverly Hills, it's very nice, a lot of richer people there. So what happens is, like anything else, where you have abutting each other, you have the people that don't have enough go and steal the people that do. Okay, so I'm working in both areas here, and I had some recruits with me, and you know, I'm trying to teach them a lot of things here. And I told them, I said, look, you're gonna get a lot of arrests by stopping people on bicycles. He goes, what? Not 15-year-old kids going to school, not 14-year-old guys going to junior, whatever. I'm talking about male adults riding bicycles. Really? Yeah. So this is what I do legally. A bicycle is just like a vehicle, has to be on the highway, not on the sidewalk. Okay? So when you see one on the sidewalk and it's an older guy, we're going to stop for a ticket. That's our reason. We're not going to stop because he's black or brown. We're not going to stop because we're going to make an arrest. He's going to get stopped for riding on the sidewalk, and then we're going to identify who he is, write him a ticket, and in the meantime, we're going to check the bike for being stolen. He goes, wow. I said, I'll tell you right now, kid, I've done probably at this time 30 of these. 25 were stolen. Okay? That's like, I mean, if I did that kind of precision in baseball, I'd be in the Hall of Fame. Okay? Really? I go, really? So we're going down the street, you know, it's starting to get dark, and there goes a 35-year-old guy down the sidewalk, hauling butt, you know, let's get him. Parallel him, pull over, waiting for somebody to, I've had bicycle pursuits before at 8 miles an hour, okay, so it's not unusual for me. They usually pedal a little bit, back a little off here, they'll pedal on a pursuit, dump the bike, usually trip over the spikes, fall down, then we're on them and it's over. I mean, it's not a, you know, and then we find guns and dope and whatever. So we go like this, my partner goes like that, so he pulls over, you know, because they have no idea what we're doing, so we get out, you know, you're not supposed to drive on the side, I know, you have any ID? No. Well, of course not, okay? So, talking to him, and I train my recruit how to look for the serial number on the bike. It's usually underneath the axle, and he's got it upside down. He look over, he gives me the nod. He's writing it down. We got it, because a lot of them don't have it. Goes over to the car. I'm talking to the guy, get his name, although I may not be his real name. And then I always get the look. It looks like a prairie dog. My partner's in the car running. We didn't have radios on our sides then, and all of a sudden you see him, my partner will pop up, you know, like a prairie dog. He goes like this, the look on his face. Because I just told him 5 minutes ago this is going to happen, okay? So I go, so he comes over to I'm talking to the guy straight on. We teach us this. Partner comes in kind of behind him a little bit at an angle on purpose. When he gets up close, I give the nod. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. We hook him up. Then we search him, and what do we find? Pills, pot, heroin. So here's a little bicycle, you know, arrest or a bicycle ticket turns into a felony, and the bike's stolen. So then we take all the station, you run the bike, this is the old days, nowadays it'd be faster. Run the bike number, comes back with a name. Usually it's a, I don't know how to put this without sounding like racist or anything, but usually it's a name that is a Jewish-based name. Only because I'm saying that, not because it's a fact. I don't deal in rumor here, this is a fact. A lot of Jewish people living in where we work, and next to the economically low areas that we work. And so you've got a black man or a Mexican or a dark-colored person here with a Jewish last name. It's not his name, okay? And finally, of course, once you get to the station, you find out the guy's real name, and then you run his record. He's got a record for stealing cars and theft and burglary. So you got a good guy here. So when I hear these stories on TV lately about, oh, they're going to stop cops from making little stops for, you know, taillight out. That's not what they're making stops for. People drive everywhere with guns, dead bodies in the car, heroin. Beat their wives, they jump in the car. Everything's in the cars. This is California. Everybody drives in cars. So when you limit that, you limit a whole area of enforcement. Okay? But anyway, get back to the stage. So, okay, so I did that for, 2 years training recruits, and they loved it. I mean, all of them, one guy made commander. These guys are up and comers, captains, you know, and they never forgot the story that I told them and what I taught them. So now I go to gangs, and I'm a tenured officer now. I got, 12 years on now. I've been in 3 gang units. I'm a gang expert, and I'm teaching these younger officers, not recruits, how to do gangs. And the first thing I told them was, anybody on a bike, you're going to get a felony out of it. Oh, there's no way. I'm terrified. And we're arguing because they're not recruits. They're regular officers that don't like to be told new things. And so, well, let's go. Okay, so I'm passenger now. He's a driver. There's one. Let's get him. 35-year-old man, ride a bicycle on the sidewalk. It's so simple. This one, pull over, starts to run. Well, starts to pedal. Okay, and so we're racing out. We're doing about what, 10 miles an hour. How fast you can pedal a bicycle? So he's swerving. He's trying to get away from us. Goes off a curve. Down he goes. He does a header. Boom. And of course, I'm already out of the car when the door's opening, and I'm already as we're rolling. I got the door open. This is not my first rodeo. As soon as he face plants, I plant myself on him. So couple up he goes, all covered in blood. Sure enough, the bike's stolen. He's got marijuana and a couple of pills in his pocket. And my fellow officer, gang officer, goes, "This is great." I said, "It's great, man. It's great. We're not going to stop. If anybody asks you, go to court, tell the truth. I'm not going to stop 14 through 16-year-olds riding bikes to school. That's not what we do. It's their bike." Okay? Might be a few, but Okay, so the end of the story is, one night this officer was not too bright. I'm not saying that because I didn't think he was going to go anywhere. Turns out he became a commander. Okay? But he didn't understand that this can get it from a bicycle. He thought, that's a bunch of baloney. I don't know how you're talking. I said, "I'm just telling you, man." Okay, all right, whatever. Okay, so we're going out at nighttime in a kind of a gang area, pretty heavily gang. And so there's a guy on a bike. And I go, "There he is, look at him. There's a guy on a bike." I said, "Okay, we're going to stop him." Okay, all right. He goes, "All right, kind of bored, okay, let the old guy talk, And I go, "Okay, get ready, he might run." It's, so, we pull up next to him. My partner says, "Pull over." Looks back, there he goes. Okay, he's pedaling. So I speed up, I see a driveway coming up, so I'm going to cut him off. So I speed up, and I cut in front of him on purpose, and I want him to swerve. I don't want him to hit my car, but usually what they'll do is they'll swerve to avoid it, and then they'll fall. That's what he did. He swerved to avoid my car. I'm already trying to get out of the car. My partner's already almost completely out of the car. The guy lays the bike down on our right front tire, gets up, and starts to run. Then we hear this clank. Okay, well, the clank, we've both been around long enough. He's been on the job about 7 years, 8 years. I've been on the job for 12 years. The clank is a gun. There's a certain sound to it. Okay, like get off the side here. There's sounds to people when they hit their head on the pavement. There's sound, all these different sounds that are one thing only. People tell me, "Oh, I heard gunshots." No, that's a car backfiring. I mean, guys that are in the biz know one from the other. Okay, so I heard this clunk, and it's a gun. And my partner saw the spark when it landed on the driveway, and he yelled out, "Gun!" Okay, so my head drilling went up, and of course he's rounding the turn with the guy right behind him, and we learned in our profession that even though he has one gun, he threw it, doesn't mean that's the only gun he could have. He could have another gun on him. That's why you see people see this and they critique us, they shouldn't, saying, "Well, why'd you have guns out? You saw he threw the gun." There's more guns on people all the time. I carry two myself. So anyway, so he tackled him just before I got to the backyard. I run up, and we're screaming, "Hands up," and hands are up, and then I'm grabbing him from the crotch. So I used to do that was my MO, crotch and back belt, and guys don't seem to move because usually when you grab a certain part of their body, they don't want to do anything else but just sit there because it hurts. Okay, so I do that, and then so we cuff him, walk back, it's laying there in the grass, and we pick it up, and then we run the bike, stolen. Okay, heroin in his pocket, of course. Okay, false ID, and the partner looked at me like we're heading to the station, and I go, "Still think stopping a bike is chicken S?" He goes, "Man, that's incredible." I said, "I'll tell you, man." I said, "Almost every one." I gave him the same number I gave you. 27 out of 30 is an arrest. You go, it's automatic. You don't even have to worry. You don't have to break out in a sweat. You don't have to chase a car at 80 miles an hour. You don't have to, most of the time, they don't carry a gun, but this one happened to carry one. And of course, we got back there and the gun was stolen. Of course, everything's wrong with this guy. So it was interesting. I take pride in that. I did that for the last 5 years. I trained not only recruits how to do that, how to do it, to do it. I also taught fellow officers to do it. And it felt good to know that they also, years later, I see these guys, and they go, "Yeah, I remember, that's all I remember." Here all these careers, 5, 6 years of doing all kinds of stuff, and they see me, they go, "Hey, remember when you get those guys on the bikes? Oh, after we broke up as partners, I did it like 10 times. It was great." Okay, well, yeah, this is what we do. This is alphas, So that was so I really enjoyed that, and the gun thing was one where they convinced that future commander that this is the real deal here. I don't BS anybody. This is what we do for a living. Took it serious in the sense of, do it right, do it professional, don't do anything stupid, don't beat anybody when you're not supposed to. Just do what you're supposed to do, and things will come out just right. And it did. And I had a very successful career. Hope those guys did too. I'm sure they did. I went to a couple of retirements of those guys. Surely enjoyed their presence, and they showed mine. So had a good time. Hope you enjoyed that story, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.